What do we make of Kyle McCord's first start as a Buckeye, or first time really being the guy for Ohio State this season? You hear what I'm saying. Final score, Ohio State 23, Indiana 3. No such thing as a bad win, but I still think there's maybe some things that we can critique, some positives to take away. We'll kind of unpack this a little bit. Also, Devin Brown. No Devin Brown really yesterday. I know he played, but we didn't really see the equal playing time like we thought we might heading into this game. Let's talk about it. Make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Ohio State fans, we've had a lot of y'all join the party. Buckeye Nation, we're glad to have you here. If you haven't yet subscribed, no time like the present. We talk college football every single day. Every single day, live, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Piquel. We'll let y'all know when we're going live. We'll let y'all know what we're talking about. So thank you in advance for locking in. Welcome to the party. Let's get after it. Like I was saying, no such thing as a bad loss. And there's going to be a lot of people that look at that stat line and say 20 for 33, 239, no touchdowns, a pick, meh. And I don't think it's unreasonable to have that feeling. We'll talk about how we feel about that. But I don't think what you saw yesterday from Kyle McCord was bad for a number of reasons. The external circumstances that played into yesterday's game, I think should allow for some sort of acclimation period. Tons of pressure on Kyle McCord. First game on the road. Probably a lot of juice. Probably a lot of jitters. Probably a lot of excitement. Also, there is very little chance that Ohio State actually opened up what this offense could be in terms of how they called it. I'm sure it was the definition of vanilla, and you won the game. Like Ryan Day said, like we're never going to turn away wins. We're never going to say, oh, bad win. Like that doesn't exist. Now, to the exact same token, even though they didn't throw a touchdown, now he threw one that was a rope to Marvin Harrison Jr., and he still had a lot of good throws yesterday, so I don't want to take anything away from that. The feeling I got watching Kyle McCord play quarterback yesterday was very game manager-ish. And they may have just asked him to manage the game yesterday, and he may have done exactly what they wanted outside of the interception. But what concerned me was the Ferrari of an offense that Ohio State has. I didn't feel like they really opened it up. Like when you drive a Ferrari, you expect to go 90 down the freeway and to be able to essentially offensively do what you want to do against a team like Indiana. It felt like a pretty conservative cruise. It felt like he was playing not to lose the job, if that can even be said. And I don't think this would be such an issue. I wouldn't be so concerned about this, and I'm not so concerned, but I wouldn't have this talking point if there wasn't the elite talent on that offense. Like this thing is built to go 90. This thing is built to score 40 points a game. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a freak show. The same talking points. Emeka Egbuka, the backfield. Heck, I think the offensive line is actually going to be really good as well. So we've seen what this whole thing can be from a skill position perspective with C.J. Stroud playing quarterback. And I'm not asking Kyle McCord to be C.J. Stroud. I'm asking us to score more than 23 points against Indiana. All the things I talked about are baked into this game. Even so, we should score more than 23 points against Indiana if we're Ohio State. So why no Devin Brown is kind of the question, right? Why didn't we see 33 in the game spin it a little bit more? Far be it from me to question Ryan Day, because I said his track record speaks for itself. He has more stake in the game than anybody. And he talked a little bit in his post-game press conference like, hey, I wanted to see us in rhythm. Didn't want us to get thrown out of rhythm. I wanted to see us kind of, get something going there offensively. Thought we had some good things going in the second half. And I get all that. I think that's probably true. But this also feels like it wasn't accidental. Like, I don't think you accidentally don't play another quarterback that you're expecting to compete for the starting job. Now, this could be a thing where Ryan Day is sort of saying one thing to the public, and then we see a ton of Devin Brown in the second game, as opposed to what we were expecting to get in that first game. Maybe the second game is Devin Brown's game. But I think if you see any more symptoms of what we saw in that first game against Indiana, if you see any more meh kind of offensive numbers with scoring 23 a game, especially against who you have before Notre Dame on the schedule, then I think the rumblings for Devin Brown will grow a little bit louder. Because the reports from Letterman Row during fall camp was, hey, listen, yeah, Devin Brown has the occasional big mistake, but he's providing some really exciting moments, probably has the more flashy scrimmages. And I think with Ohio State, scoring 40 points a game is still going to be part of the formula for them. Like, we're not changing the equation from what last year was to what this year wants to be because they want to beat Michigan. They want to win the Big Ten. They want to win a national title. All of those things require elite offensive numbers. Elite offensive numbers for Ohio State requires elite quarterback play. And so I'm not selling my Kyle McCord stock. I think he's done a lot to earn the position he was in yesterday. But I think it's going to be very difficult if you see this offense look not lackluster, but look below what they are capable of being and what they're going to need to be. I think there will be some need to at least give Devin Brown a little bit more burn. So even with that being said, the good news if you're an Ohio State fan, like I said, you got the win. Like, let's never be down on a victory Sunday. That's the first thing. The other part, we don't need to know about the quarterback room. We don't need to know for sure what we have there if we're an Ohio State fan until week 4 at Notre Dame. Right? Like, the reality is we probably won't know what that offense can do until week 4 at Notre Dame. Why? Because the backfield is really good. You're going to be able to hand the ball to those two individuals, Mayan Williams, Travion Henderson, and let them eat. And the defense, I think, is going to be very good, especially these next 2 games, because you got Youngstown State and you got Western Kentucky. No disrespect to those 2 schools, but you pretty much can do whatever game plan you want offensively for Ohio State and feel good about how you're going to handle yourself in those games. Like, those aren't a great litmus test for what Ohio State's going to be throughout this season. So when it comes to that game against Notre Dame, though, we got to be kind of firing on all cylinders. We got to kind of have this thing situated to where we can do some damage. So for Ohio State, no such thing as a bad win. Left more to be desired offensively, though. I would be surprised if we don't get a healthy dose of Devin Brown at some point before Notre Dame. But if not, feels like Ryan Day then. It feels good about going with Kyle McCord. And we'll see what the offense looks like in that game. If you have a strong opinion on Kyle McCord or who should be playing quarterback, wait till Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the filter we can run this whole thing through and say, okay, do we have issues at quarterback? Do we have issues as an offense? Do we need to make some other kind of pivot from Kyle McCord? Or is that a thing where at that point in the game, they just open it up, at that point in the season, in that game, rather, they open it up, they score 40, and we're all like, okay, well, I guess they were saving that ammunition for this spot. So I can't wait to watch how this thing unfolds. 2 5-star quarterbacks in your room. Very difficult to have a large objection to either guy running the show. But even so, Kyle McCord looked good. I think the Ohio State offense, though, will need to be in the range of 40 points a game, like they were a season ago, to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Because make no mistake now, this Buckeye team is built to win a national title if they get the quarterback position right, how I think they can get it right. Make sure you're subscribed. College football, and only college football, every single day. Again, live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to pick a lot of games this coming Tuesday. We're going to pick the Notre Dame game when it gets here. If you're an Ohio State fan, make sure you're locked in. Going to be a real good time. It's college football season, baby. You love it. We love it. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.